not be awkward to me. Hi guys. Hi guys. Oh my god, you're overthinking it. Hi guys. Happy 2025. I hope the first couple of days of the new year have been great for you guys. As you can see, we're in the kitchen. I'm trying something new. If you haven't seen the first part of the sourdough series, I'll leave a link in the description and as well as on the screen somewhere. So long story short, I failed. But in this video, I'll be walking you through the steps I took to get to the bread that you see on the screen. With all that being said, let's get into the video. Okay, so we're starting right where we left off. We've made the sourdough starter. It's finished its fermentation process. The bubbles are looking good. And now we can move to the next part of making the sourdough bread. Now this is gonna be me putting a little twist on it because I wanted to use my bread maker for the kneading process because I've seen the YouTube channel Sorted Foods do the same with theirs, and I wanted to see how that would go. Now to do that, I have to measure out 1/4 of the starter. Now this footage was last year, so between that time and right now, I've been looking at a lot of people make sourdough starters, and they pour theirs out when they have to measure it, and I'm wishing I did that because this took forever. Now, so this doesn't take forever with you, I'll just speed this up. Yeah, I think that's about half an ounce. Now that half of the sourdough starter has been measured out, we can pour that into the bread machine. And from there, we can add 1.5 cups of water, 4 cups of bread flour, and 2 teaspoons of salt. Now, since I haven't played around with the bread machine other than when you first saw me make that first loaf of bread, of course, I don't know where the dough setting is on it. You put it on the dough cycle. How to put bread machine. It's just that. The dough setting took an hour and something minutes. I can't remember if it was 30 or 45 minutes. Now I recorded the bread machine working at various stages. Can you see that this kitchen towel is not helping it from moving? Like I said in my short, this is not something you can walk away from. But besides that, it did knead the bread at different speeds and even had a resting period for it as well. Now the reason why you're looking at a thing of vegetable oil is because I have to lightly grease this bowl. But I'm out of olive oil, but it's fine because I only need a light coating of this. If you didn't know, I was only using the dough setting in the bread machine, not for it to actually make the whole sourdough loaf for me. Now, for this being my first time using a bread machine to make dough, I think it looks pretty good. And it doesn't have an option for that anyway. Girl, are you ever gonna get this out? I think that was decently folded. This will go through another folding, but for right now, I just let it rest. Now here's where I'm starting to feel a little deja vu. Because why does that look like it has not risen much? A YouTuber by the name Sourdough Enzo says the dough should be pillowy and double in size. While mine may be a bit bigger, it's definitely not pillowy like hers. She also says you should see air bubbles on the surface of the dough and it should wobble when you shake the bowl. None of that is going on. Now this second folding is where I attempt to shape the dough, and obviously I'm not confident in doing this whatsoever because I'm playing with it before I actually remember somewhat how to do it. And of course here comes the rest of the house. Now I feel like I'm gonna mess it up now. Cause now I forgot I was trying to shape it into a ball, not a loaf. I don't want to overwork it. proofing for another 2 to 3 hours. And doing the third proofing process, it still does not look bigger. But if I already preheated my Dutch oven, the dough is made, so I'm just going to keep going with this. I'm going to sit the dough in some parchment papers. That way it's easier to take out once it's done. And here's where I see the purpose of a bandaging basket. You see my dough did not keep its rounded shape, and it actually spread out a lot more in the proofing process than it's supposed to. Nonetheless, I'm attempting to score it with my angled paring knife. Now this is going to bake in the oven for 20 minutes with the lid on, and then another 20 to 25 minutes with the lid off. And with all that time and energy, this is what I have. A dense, hard to cut brick of a bread. This thing was so hard, my serrated knife was struggling to get through it. Now I have been studying the process of sourdough baking so I can identify what went wrong. And there are a lot of things I did wrong, but the only thing I strongly feel like it is that my sourdough starter was not fermented enough. Even another baker on YouTube who goes by the name of Baker Betty also says that,
is my starter dead? Am I doing something wrong? And I will say this, there is no exact timeline for a sourdough starter.
And it doesn't even help if you're using somebody else's ratio for the starter, because it all depends on the amount of bacteria and other things that you have in your home that's going to help feed the starter. It's okay. Hopefully I'll do better next time, but thank you for watching.